Hello and welcome to another stream here on Behance and YouTube. I am Anna Davis-Court. I am a children's book illustrator, and it is so good to be back, y'all. Oh my gosh. It has been a hot minute since I streamed. I think it was like November 2nd. I was just looking back at the streams, and it was like, oh yeah, you streamed twice in October, once in November, and now here we are in December, which is just insane. It was quite a month, November. I can catch you up as we chat and paint and all that stuff, but I just want to say hi first. Rin's in the chat saying, forced. Gold star to you, Rin. Thank you so much for being here. And also, how are you? How you been? It's just been so long since I've been on here that it feels like, oh man, the friends. It's been so long. You must have so much to catch me up on, obviously. Rin says, holy moly, I must say you look cozy. Love the sweater, keeping warm. I am freezing right now. My fingertips are actually very, very cold, so I'm just going to keep them like this. But yeah, James and I went out and ran a few errands. That's why I was kind of late today. I was planning on doing 3 to 5, but now I'm doing 4 to 6. Just because we went and got our library cards. So once upon a time in a distant past, James got us our library cards, but only digitally, and today we had to go in and do it physically, make sure that they knew we are who we say we are with our IDs and all that stuff. So it was super official. They drew blood. No. They were very nice people. And the library that we chose to go to is absolutely beautiful. I'd never been there before, but it's right next to one of our favorite restaurants. So we had to stop in there, get some pastries and stuff. And then on the way home, there was a Wajimaya, which, Rin, if you haven't visited that, because you're in kind of the neck of the woods, Wajimaya is an amazing Asian food store, and it's got in the back like a whole special, what would you call it, like a stationary bookshop of sorts that is there's also a ramen restaurant, so there's all sorts of stuff. You could definitely spend a day there and just have so much fun, which I did once actually on a field trip from school. I was learning Japanese in high school, and we took a field trip to Wajimaya. So good. anyways, Brittany says a vampire library. They suck the life out of you. That's how they fill the books with so many pages. It's all written in blood. Anyways, no, we're not in October anymore. Now it's like holiday time. But yeah, I am super cozy. Long and short of it, let's get to drawing, and then we could keep chatting. There we go. So I'm more. I have to remember how to talk again. This is too hard. I can't. So we're working in Adobe Fresco. I painted this little whatever this is last night. It was just like a little doodle, and then I put in this little character to make it feel like, oh, my pen, is it? There we go. There we go. How charged is it? 100%, baby. But it's still not reacting. So there we go. This is just a little foliage kind of piece. As you guys know that I love to make, this is my comfort zone, especially like coming back to streaming. I kind of just felt like I wanted to do something easy peasy. Not that like anything's ever easy peasy. I feel like even the simplest pieces are so deceptive. But anyways, I just wanted to paint something that I really feel comfortable doing, which is foliage. So I also like to push myself a little bit with it and just kind of find in each piece my new favorite method for painting leaves, essentially, because it's all about shapes and colors and values blending together in really nice, kind of abstract ways. It's a really fun exercise. Rin says, ooh, I must check it out. Yes. And Rin says, I know of Kinokuniya, which is nearby, but it's mostly novelty goods. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I mean, Portland has so many treasures I have not delved into yet. I need to go check them all out. But I saw a post on TikTok the other day where it was like, oh, this new Japanese goods store. What do you call it? Like fun novelty stuff, but also, I don't know. There are just things that you wouldn't even expect to be there sometimes. Like at a Wajimaya, it's like some novelty stuff. They very heavily lean into Ghibli, which is like muy perfecto. I think all of the art books are there, and there's just so much fun stuff to check out. Anyways, what I was gonna say is they also have What was I gonna say? There was something there. Oh, we were looking for a brush pen for James. He has a very specific one that we have not found anywhere else, and we still haven't found it. We checked the stationery shop and they didn't have it, so unfortunately. Um, but yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. The other part of Iwajimaya that I would not expect them necessarily to have is they have a very robust and beautiful ceramic section. There are all sorts of cooking goods, not just like, oh, this is a beautiful decorative plate. It's like steaming pots or Dutch oven kind of style things. And oh man, they're so beautiful. I want them all. And I have no place to put them or use them. I have everything I need, but I want more. Anyway, so I'm going to try to create this sense of depth going back into the bush, as we'll call it, I suppose. And we've got this like light area where I want to make it feel like kind of sunsetty colors are coming through and catching the light. These little bits are going to be like, you know, bugs flying around or, you know, glowy bits. The glowy bits. Rin says there's another stationery shop nearby called Oblation. Oh, I know Oblation well. It is my friend and my family. My friend Julia actually gave me a what do you call it, gift certificate there, and I think I went the most crazy I've ever gone and just got everything I wanted, which actually one of the washi tapes that I've been using on my store orders I got from there. It's got little strawberries on it. It's very cute. I also got a package of decal cut watercolor paper that I still want to use for something special. It looks so inviting. I almost want to use it for prints or something. Like I could cut a lino cut that shape or size and then just print it right on there. But yes, Oblation is fantastic. And you're in the same neck of woods that I kind of was for school. So yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of the same favorites over the time. Have you been to the Ben and Jerry's up there? Because that's like where I lived, was in that Ben and Jerry's. Also, there's a really great chocolate shop. I think it was like Lebanese chocolate or something, which was Verdun? Is that what it is? Maybe I'm misremembering, but it was something starting with a V. And it's in the Pearl District up in Northwest Portland, and it is some of the best chocolate I have ever had in my life. Probably the best chocolate. Yum. That and my friend Laura, when she went to Guatemala, she brought back a gigantic chunk of the best chocolate. So I would highly recommend those two. Go to Guatemala, and then that one place in the Pearl District of Portland. You know, the two places you go. Anyways, you all, Rin, Brittany, what have you been up to? How is your life going right now? How you feeling? Any news? I haven't been here since November. November! Ah, I have plenty of news. Rin says, my friends and I walked to Ben & Jerry's yesterday, which is only a few minutes away. Maybe there will be they're in a new location though. If it's the one in the Pearl, I mean, that's all I really know. I think it's like probably Cooch and near Davis, not on Davis, maybe like, I don't know. Golly, I can't remember the streets anymore. I know they go alphabetically when they're north of Burnside. Erin says, oh gosh, it's finals week this next week. Oh my gosh. So much good luck to you. I hope you're having fun in your classes and that the finals aren't kicking your butt. It's always hit and miss with art school stuff. I mean, I haven't been specifically to the one you're going to, but I feel like it can just be like, oh yeah, it's not that big of a deal, do this thing, blah blah blah. And then other ones just kill you, like project classes. Make an entire book. Just make it for me. That's all you need to do. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's a lot. Ren says it's been great, honestly. I'm a little stressed, but not overly so. That's what you want, is like the pressure's on, but not so much that you can't function. A good challenging pace. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about what's been going on. So I took a break in November, a break from everything. Everything I could possibly take a break from. So this was a period after James had been sick and I had been taking care of him, and I just kind of got burnt out. And I told him that I was just like, I'm just feeling burnt out. And he said, you know, you're between projects and this is the perfect time for you to take a break. So I did. with his help. He definitely helped me like usher into the break era. Um, and so I was just trying to figure out a way to take a break. And so one of the things was streaming, one of the things was Patreon, one of the things was the online store. One of the things was just emails, how to deal with emails coming in. And I don't think I did a perfect job, but I think I did enough to feel like I was away from everything that was causing me stress, which is the huge part. Um, and yeah, so I took that little time away, and I'm sorry if I'm still getting back to messages that people have sent me over break, and so I'm just like very very slow to getting back into things. And by the way, I'm streaming this week, but I won't be streaming next week because it's going to be Ryan Selvy's holiday stream on Wednesday, December 14th. So that's very exciting. I cannot wait to see all the things that he's put into that, because if you know any special by Ryan Selvy, he puts his absolute heart and soul into everything he makes. So just get ready. Anyways, so yeah, that I feel like I really want to get back into streaming. However, I don't know how much I can promise because other things always are going to take precedence over it. Now that I'm not paid to stream, it's just something that I do for funsies, and it does keep me on my my personal art journey, which is really really good because if you don't know, sometimes it's really hard to make time for your own stuff, especially if you're doing too many projects at once. So, um, yeah, I'm working on a new project now. How about that? So I came out of Oh, wait. Oh, I have to say hi to new friends in the chat. Ooh, Alessandra. Hello, how are you? Brittany says, not much news for me. I opened Redbubble shop. I don't have much of an audience, so like 4 buyers, but it's still better than no shop. That is awesome. Brittany, oh my gosh. Wait, can you point us to where your shop is? Can you give like a name or a link or something? One of our mods could make it clickable. But congratulations, Brittany. That is so cool. Also, yes, 4 buyers is a huge thing, okay? It is so hard to get an audience and also to get people to buy stuff. So it's celebrate every single win. It is so worth it. And congratulations. Alessandra says, "Hey everyone, I'm late. I forgot it's Wednesday. Rough week, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. But also I was late, so you get a free pass." Kendall in the chat. What's up, Kendall? How are you? Good to see you and everyone here. Yes, yes, yes. Rin says, "Oh, that reminds me, Anna. For one of my finals, I'm tasked with emulating an established artist's style while also maintaining my own. Ooh, that is very cool." Brittany says, "It's Redbubble." Thank you, Kendall, for making that clickable. It's Kid Pen. So KIDDPENN. Kid Pen. Awesome. We'll have to check that out. Yes, that is awesome. I'm so glad that everybody's here. It's so nice to see you guys. If you missed the beginning of the stream, I missed you. As in that's the catch up. I missed you all. I'm gonna go into what was the brush that I wanted to try out. Some canvas flat. By the way, we're just painting for funsies here in Fresco, doing some nice comfy foliage stuff. So bust out your tablet if you're drawing something digitally, bust out your paper if you want to do some traditional stuff, and just hang out. It's a nice chill painting stream. I don't really have a goal in mind for this, and that's kind of the fun part, is I get to do whatever the heck I want. Speaking of which, so the goal of the break that I took was to get bored and just chill out to the point where I don't feel a really crazy pressure to make anything, and I want to get back to making stuff. So thank you. Kendall says, "Love all the colors here." Yay, I'm so glad. So the boredom part of it, I started the break by just like chilling and trying to like, play video games and not really think much about what I was trying to do, which is really hard to make yourself not think. It's like you don't think about the pink elephant, that kind of thing. It's very difficult. I'm gonna get into a little bit more detail over here because I'm liking the layout and colors, except for this bottom corner I don't really like, but the rest of it's fine. So what I'm going to do is start getting into some details ish, mid details, I'll say. Anyway, so with the act of trying to take a break, I kind of hit a midpoint with my own self. I got a little frustrated with having to um take a break. Having to think that like, hey, don't think. You're relaxing. It's like trying to meditate and being like, "Oh, don't think about anything. Woo, good luck." So, I just kind of fell into my own method of not thinking, which is keeping my hands busy without keeping my brain too busy. So I started doing crafty things. I posted about this on Patreon, so sorry patrons if this is all like rehashing. But it started with a what do you call it? Making a little kind of garland for my room space out here. This is our living room. And I made like little tissue paper bunches that go out like that, like a radial thing, and they kind of mimic snowflakes or some kind of snowy thing, and I enjoyed making those for sure. It felt very therapeutic to get my hands just busy doing something while watching like YouTube videos, which is one of my favorite methods to relax, is just putting on some videos and zone in a bit. And that is something I would highly recommend. I don't like this method that I'm using so far. Sorry. Here, I'm just gonna erase out some of this nonsense. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, the method that I guess I found was keeping my hands busy with making things. Another one of those was I made a hat for my friend Corinne, so crocheted. That did take a little bit more thought just because I was like, I undid it and redid it like 5 times just to get a design that I liked. And the thing that really brought it together in the end was a embroidery of the stars on top of it. It was so cute in the end. It felt very like handmade, but in a cute way. So it wasn't like too janky. Um, then I can't remember all the stuff I made, but I basically crafted. And that for me was a nice like shut off your brain kind of thing. And I would highly recommend if anybody's just trying to relax and not put so much pressure or like feel like you're just doing, you're chugging through something thick. You're chugging molasses. You're running through the mud. You're just not having a good time when you're making art. Changing up the medium was huge for me and making it something that I could just kind of do without thinking too much. Rin, let's see. Wait. Oh, Alessandra says I miss you, Anna. That's so nice. I miss you too. Trust me. It's been really nice to be away in terms of like a lot of work stuff. However, I do miss the streams, I have to say. Kendall says, I am in relax mode. I had to go to the DMV today, so my brain was overloaded with buildup for that. Totally understand. I'm glad you got through the DMV, though. Good job. You did your hard thing for the day. Kendall says, but I didn't get much work done, so now I have a ton tomorrow instead. Just get a really good sleep. Brittany says, yes, these are nice tropical jungle colors. Ooh, tropical jungle. I like it. Alessandra says, I have 2 gallery exhibitions to attend on tomorrow and Friday, y'all. I'm excited. That is super exciting. I'm happy for you. Ren says, I automatically thought of you as I adore your painterly style and love to learn how to do similar textures and shapes. And it gives me a way to plug your name in and get others to enjoy your work. Oh, that's so nice. Absolutely. Ren says, I'll avoid further rambling about it unless asked, but I hope it's all right to attempt emulating elements of your style for educational purposes. Please. Please. That is so cool. I love that exercise. And I'd be happy to tell you like literally anything about the way I work because I mean you've seen a lot of it, but also I'm here for it. Anytime you have any questions, just let me know. What are you most excited about for that assignment? Like what gets your juice flowing? Anthony Jackson, what's up? Oh, Mr. Artist Spotlight himself is in the chat saying hello, everyone. What's up? How are you, Anthony? Having a good week? Rin says, yes, I have missed being here so much. I'm happy to you took a nice break. I hope it was restful. It really was. I think the biggest thing for me, rest wise, is getting out of the mental mode that I'm always available for whatever people need me to do. When you just start saying like no, or putting yourself in the headspace that like no one can access me right now. I'm on my own time. There's something that like unlocks slowly. Now, I really would have liked a longer rest. I think that everybody should have as long as they need, and I needed longer. However, I don't think it's ever bad to get a short break. I think it's always worth taking it, even if it's just a day. It's worth taking it because it does something. It might not completely make you 100% again or whatever, 100% is. But I think that any break is worth taking. Jennifer says, hello, 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 Jennifer. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Everybody say hi in the chat. Hello, everybody. Kendall says, I have crocheted too, and my sister requested a sweater vest, so this will be interesting since it's my first project. Oh my gosh. See, your first one has to be for yourself, Kendall. Just make yourself a quick scarf or something. Because it's gotta be, able to be a little janky. But yeah, there's so much good crocheting content online that it is very tempting to just go hog with it. My problem is the price of yarn. I'm always looking for like, oh, this is a cheap hobby, and then no, it's not. Yarn can get so expensive, especially if you're not going for like, I always want to try natural fibers because anything acrylic, I'm just like, ooh, plastic, gross. But you get those natural fibers going, and man, they get expensive. So expensive. Anyways, Anthony requested a scarf for I was gonna say Halloween, for the holidays. So I am currently working on, designing and trying to figure out how much yarn I have to get for it because yeah, I've never made a scarf, and I've never done a few of the things that he wants on it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's always an adventure, right? Although I have made 2 sweaters, a hat, and I think that's it so far. Well, I kind of made a little plushie, but it was so long ago. Doesn't really count. Ren says, that's a great way to break it down, Anna. I'm happy you were able to take time for yourself and hope you'll be able to take more quality breaks in the near future. I agree. I agree. Actually, Anthony and I were talking because this whole break, I didn't really get to hang out with him that much. He's been working really hardcore on that project that he's been on since September, maybe even August. It's been such a long project. Usually his stuff does not last this long, but this one has. Anyways, we didn't get to hang out over my whole break, and he was very sad about that. Was I? I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not sad, but it was one thing that we had hoped we could make happen. So we were talking about taking more breaks regularly and maybe having them overlap with each other so that we could just hang out, do something, do nothing, do whatever. So what that would look like is like every few months we would just take a week off. Just like, oh, this is my month where I take a week off. So what would that be? 4 weeks, 1 month, 3 weeks, 1 month. So it'd be every 7 months you take a week off. Or sorry, every 7 weeks you take 1 week off. The 8th week is a free week. That kind of idea, at least. Now, life is definitely not always going to align with that. However, if you don't make the goal of trying, then you're never going to have that reminder that you're trying to take breaks here. That's part of life, is living it rather than living by everybody else's schedule and trying to desperately make money. Now, obviously, we're super privileged to even have the option to do that. So I'm not saying that this is like, oh yeah, why doesn't everybody do this? But I do think that working freelance has so many freedoms and privileges that I'm not used to taking advantage of, at least for my part. I just feel like I do not naturally say, hey, I'm unavailable, you can't reach me. I'm always like, I have to be available or else I'm not going to make enough money and I'm going to, live on the street. And it's just like, whoa, whoa, calm down there. Sometimes, I mean, not all the time, but sometimes you can take breaks and you won't be financially destitute. So, like, it's okay. Sometimes. If I go too far to one side, then yes, it will take over forever. Ooh, Kendall says I've made a ton of chains to practice my stitches, so I call that my personal project. I've been watching a lot of tutorials on it, and I have lots to do before the holidays officially start. Well, you know, that's fun. I mean, it's really fun to do, I have to say. I love a good project, especially one that's very hands-on. My mom always says that crochet is her favorite thing to make because you get to touch the yarn constantly with it. She doesn't like knitting because you're not really like hands-on as much, but with crochet you're like yarn in one hand, then the hook is in the other. It's very tactile. So another reason to get really good yarn. If you hate the feeling of the yarn, you're going to hate the feeling of the whole project. Rin says, I only have the remainder of this week and next to create 2 pieces and write a bio for my artist of choice, so I will be busy. I cannot guarantee the quality of it since I'm still learning. I can guarantee the quality of it, Rin. Anthony Jackson says, I showed my artist spotlight stream to my boss, and he said it's cool that professional artists get to see your work. Oh my gosh, everybody gets to see your work. It's such a huge platform that you're on, and you deserve it, buddy. It's so good. And I'm glad that you showed your boss too. Your boss should know how awesome you are. Rin says, this is for a foundation level drawing course, and I'm still very new to figure drawing slash form, let alone figures slash forms with more illustrative and exaggerated shapes. It's hard to know like what is, you know, the natural inclination of each artist. Is it that you really like jive with abstract shapes, or maybe you want the figure first and then you can abstract it? It's hard to know, because I've known some people who are just so naturally talented at like abstracting shapes. However, there's always a point at which they hit a wall and they're like, I don't know how to do this one, you know, or they get the like same face syndrome but with like bodies, or every single creature looks exactly the same, and that doesn't always work. So that kind of stuff is interesting, I'd say. I would wonder for you, Rin, do you feel like you naturally drift towards abstracted shapes, or do you naturally drift towards trying to find like reference to get things exactly how they are first, realistically, naturalistically, before abstracting them to an illustrative kind of thing? Rin says abstract. I like abstract. That's awesome, because then you have this natural inclination. Your challenge is then you have to not lose that while also learning the foundational figure stuff, because I also have definitely experienced that of like, oh, I used to be able to abstract this so easily, but then once I saw like the way you know, a back or like you know, a spine twists and the forms work around it, then I can't like ever abstract it the same way, because I feel like I'm not getting as much depth without more detail. Oh, it's hard. Ren says, at least I think so. Kendall says, yeah, my practice stitches have been on some leftover yarn I bought at least 10 years ago. I hate it since it keeps falling apart, makes stitches harder, but I'm getting there. Congratulations on getting there. Trying is like the whole thing. Bought the new yarn, and it's such an upgrade, and I'm eager to finish at least a couple coaster tests so I can get into the vest. Coaster test and then the vest. I love it. You're encouraging me, Kendall. I need to get back into it. All right, I'm gonna just like start making some goofy shapes and be much more loosey-goosey with this, because why not, right? Why not? Why not? Take a crazy chance. Oh, if you guys haven't seen, Defunct Land has a new video out that's very, very good. It's all about finding who wrote the Disney Channel theme song, like the little jingle, and it's deeper than you would think it might be. So you should go check it out, especially creatives, which I know all of you are. So go check it out. Pew, pew. Ren says, my hand is becoming more confident. Oh, not having to twist and turn the page for symmetry / shapes. That's awesome. Once your brain can, or your hand can start putting down what your brain is thinking, even just a little bit. It's not going to be satisfying at first, but even just a little bit is like, yes. Brittany says, I want to be abstract, but it's not what comes naturally to me. I'm trying to do style studies too. Yeah, the new Defunctland doc was great. Yes, I love it. But yeah, Brittany, I totally feel that. I get distracted by realism all the time, and it can be a boon and it can be a bully. What is that saying? I don't know if there even is one. I'm making it up as I go. But yeah, that is something to just be cognizant about and try to fight your natural instincts if they're not what you want from your work. Now, sometimes you don't want to fight them and you're just like, wow, my instincts were right about that. But I know, at least for me, it can be a real challenge to back away at the right time and say, I'm going too far towards realism. I'm falling into it and I can't deal with that. But as long as you know to watch for that in yourself, you'll most likely catch it earlier rather than later, and you won't have to scrap an entire piece. Oh man. Brittany says, yeah, the new. Oh yeah. Marin says, I struggle with realism. Ooh. Sorry, coughing. You struggle with realism, like trying to get it to look realistic. That's another struggle. We got all the struggle buses. I feel like if I have reference for something, will most likely not struggle, where it's like, oh yeah, I can copy what I see pretty accurately. I mean, I say that, but I'm not saying like it's perfect. I'm Michelangelo or whatever. It's just like, yeah, I feel pretty confident about that. But where you feel less confident is usually where you want your work to go, where it's like, oh, my taste level doesn't match my hand's ability to make this yet. And that's something that we all just are on the journey to making better, right? Kind of the endless journey, because we're always changing what we like. Ooh, I want this to be a little bit like see-through. There we go. With this one, I'm just trying to play with shapes and colors and having that in between of like when I paint one color over another, taking the opportunity to think, do I want them to meld together or be a little bit more contrasty off of each other? And with this one, I wanted it to meld. I'm going on a baby one coming out here. A little baby. I would like to see the baby. Kendall says, the dip. Ira Glass quote. Oh, the dip. Oh wait, no, it's the gap, and the dip is the one with by that writer. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Rin says, I think it's because realism is not as interesting to me, though we haven't been assigned super detailed work aside from the value studies with still life drawing. Totally, and hold on to that. Know what you like. That is very important. And also says, I think it's amazing when someone else can do hyper realistic drawings, but I don't have interest in creating something realistic myself, though it's great for training your hands / studying. Absolutely. Kendall says, the dip is Seth Godin. Godin? Got it. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Rin. I am also of that camp that like I don't really care for making something that's realistic. However, learning realism is always valuable, as in learning from realism, like nature and just humans and animals. Everything that you could possibly look at and learn from is always going to make your artwork better. But it doesn't mean you have to literally interpret it, where like going to the zoo and drawing the animals does not have to be an anatomical study. You do not have to be like, oh, well, the capuchin monkey is built like this. What you can do is say, I feel this when I look at that. It feels like this shape. It feels like this color. Maybe the tail is really interesting. So I just want to draw like how the tail interacts with the body or its surroundings. That kind of stuff, which I feel like isn't as encouraged by especially early level class teachers. But hey, maybe there are some out there that are teaching it. Just I don't remember them from my schooling. I feel like the later level class teachers, when they got into very specific, like, I know you as a student and I know where you want to go, then we got into talks like that. But sometimes when they just see a million students, they come up with teaching methods that are a little bit more tailored to a broad audience. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. You kind of have to find it in yourself what you want to get out of the assignment. Okay, okay, I dig that. All right, next one, next one. Let's see. I feel like we could use some big leaves. I want a big one. My voice went out with it. I want a big one. There we go. If you could name the movie that that's from, I would give you so much points. Because it's pretty obscure. Although this time of year, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, it would be appropriate. I wonder once in Wonder Ball, where the epicenter of this should be. As in, like, if this is a big leafed plant, is it all going to originate somewhere? Or is it going to be coming out of the bush kind of willy-nilly? Doesn't really matter. It's abstract stuff, so. Kendall says, I love doing gesture drawings with simple shapes. Makes me also think of early Asian calligraphy writing. Oh, I love that as a inspiration. Because a lot of those glyph strokes are very similar to how the object looks. That is so cool. I love that. Just like, oh yeah, it looks like a cat. There it is. Or like a swan, an elegant swan. Rin says, I think I've been lucky with my instructors this semester. I've had relative freedom to do as I do, while also being challenged to add on to whatever I do without compromising my vision. I love that. Love, 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 love. More of that in schooling, please. Because truly, that's not usually that common, at least from what I've heard from all of the art school experiences of my peers and such. It seems to be that a lot of people have gone through being told a lot of things that later they learn are falsehoods. So that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't necessarily fault the teachers for that. It's much more the culture of art. And I hope that the culture of art is changing in a positive direction. So that we don't have any more like, you can't draw anime style. Because that stuff is just not true. You can draw however you want, whatever influences you want. Alessandra says, love how this looks, by the way. Thank you. Rin says, it has been absolutely amazing, Alessandra, for school. Oh, that's so cool. I am so glad that you're having a good time. It makes sense. It's where you were meant to be. So I think I'm getting into the weeds with this one. What I want to do is create overlapping big ol' circles of kind of variation in value, but not too much realism. I feel like the shadowing underneath is making it feel a little bit too much like I'm trying to render it. So I'm going to break that up a little bit with these lighter ones. And I could add realism where I want it. I just want it to be intentional and not like an accidental oopsie realism. Ain't that just the way? Is everybody excited for the holidays? Do you have any plans? I hope it's going to be a good one for everyone. James and I are going to be traveling, which is always, you know, like a plus and a minus. It shakes up the routine, makes it exciting, like, ooh, we get to go somewhere. But then also it's traveling, and we're still in a pandemic. So it's definitely something that's a little, you know, takes effort. But at least we're just going down to family, so we know everybody's gonna be there. Hopefully everybody will be healthy and happy and safe. And hopefully our car can make it. That's a real if. Let's see. Alessandra says, well, if you ever want to talk about your experience or if you have any questions or need help, I am here. I went to school for illustration and design. Oh, that's so lovely. Yes. Here's a question. If you were to go back into your design choice, like your design school choices, would you make the same choice again? How would you feel about that? I am curious just because I have mixed feelings about mine just because if you don't know, the Art Institutes are part of a massive lawsuit right now. And there's possibility of like loans being paid back to the people who took them out to pay for the Art Institutes, which is like massive and crazy. And what comes with a lot of the questions about that is just like, was it worth it? You know, like, well, the lawsuit is about misleading people when they were signing up about certain things, and it's like, well, that's what they've proven in the lawsuit did happen for a lot of students. So that's like not what's up for question. What I'm questioning is, would you do it again, knowing what you know now? And like, I loved school. I'm not saying they didn't lie to me, because they did, but I did love it. And I also met my husband there. I got to meet like so many friends and so many of my peers in the industry and stuff like that. And it's one of those like, well, you can't like go back and change something about your life that's that dramatic, or else you'd be in a completely different place now. And I obviously love where I've landed. So Rin says, oh gosh, I hope you two have a lovely time. I hope so too. Alessandra says, quote, Anna's car, please stay strong so Anna can do her travels. Thank you. Thank you. You can use its name, Loki, the chaotic one. Rin says, I recently declared myself as a painting and drawing major. Ooh, but plan on working in 3D elements as well, sculpture, installations, etc. I'm not sure what I'll be doing yet, but I'm discovering how much I love creating 3D spaces. That is so cool. That is exactly where you're supposed to be, is just figuring out what you love. That's so cool. Kendall says, I am looking forward to relaxing for the holidays. Last year was too stressful with the fire, so I think the community is aiming for being more supportive for those who lost homes last year. That is so lovely. Your community is amazing, and I'm so sorry. For the reminder of it, I hope that it's been a healing year, but I remember how hard that was, and I just wish you all the best. Alessandra says, very welcome, Rin. I mean, it's that I mean it, and that's awesome. I did those too. It was great. Yeah. Brittany says, I think I shouldn't or should have studied illustration instead of animation, but also there weren't so many online courses back then. Would have been nice to not be in so much debt. Same. It would be nice to not have as much debt. Kendall says, I kind of wanted to go to AI, but my mother works at a university, so she was strongly against for-profit schools and told me to look at other places. Smart mother. Smart. Ended up at a private art school. Well, yeah. But that kind of stuff is super important, knowing where your money's going and why. But yeah, the other part that Brittany was talking about, I totally agree with. I definitely should have been in an illustration major. I went for media arts and animation because that was the only major that felt like it understood what I liked about art. There were so many fine art classes, and I just didn't feel like they were what I wanted. And now I feel like fine art is treated a little differently. Like Rin's experience, this is technically at a fine art school. And I always thought like fine art you show in galleries, it's very like abstract. Whatever you create is cool, but like in a way that is like banana tape to wall kind of stuff. And I was like, I don't want to create gallery art. I want to like, I don't know, draw what I love, which was animation and comics and just all those beautiful paintings that I saw online, and had no idea really how they fit into the art industry, but I knew that the people painting them were getting paid. So I was like, how do I get there? Because I just want to paint beautiful things. What I see is beautiful, which is very different from a lot of other people. And then I learned how actually it was not that different from a lot of people, how similar we had, how similar a lot of people were in their tastes to me, and how I did luck my way into a very common community where like we all felt very passionately about kind of similar artworks. I mean, that's a very wide breadth, obviously, but I'm just saying I found my people. And that gave me such a boost of confidence, feeling like, okay, so this is where I'm supposed to be. And then I remember in college, my teacher, Lee White, who later was my mentor as well, and also he teaches at svslearn.com if you guys don't know. But, anyways, he is a children's book illustrator by trade. I mean, he's done many things. But I remember being in school and learning that about him, like, oh yeah, children's book illustrator. I was like, that's so cool. But then also I was like, well, I can't just like copy that. Which is the dumbest thought to have. It was like, oh yeah, I can't just like be what he is or whatever, like try to do that. And it's so dumb, but I should have just followed that like feeling of, ooh, that sounds really cool. Because then I would have come to this much earlier. But everything works in mysterious ways. Then the residency might have not worked out the same way. So who knows? Let's see. Let's see. Rin says, I think one of the best things about the school versus what I've heard from others is that you are encouraged to explore as many disciplines as you would like while you are here. That is the entire point, and I'm so glad that they're like that. Alessandra says, I did 2 years in community school, then 2 years in private school. See, that I think is a very smart thing to do because, like Rin is saying, you get to explore at a community college a little bit more than you would get to at a really really high priced place. And I would if I were to choose what schooling I was going to do again, I would definitely go the like community college or like just cheaper route first, because who knows where you want to end up. If you have an idea of exactly where, then maybe the more specific school, but if you are not sure yet, then try out multiple things for cheaper. Kendall says, I will note that AI did influence me picking an art school at the end of the day. Hey, that's good. One good thing they did. I went to visit one and it was just so nice being able to talk Wacoms and other nerdy design stuff with the teachers and students. Absolutely. When you find your people, oh man, there's no better feeling. Alessandra says, what did you study then, Anna? It was called Media Arts and Animation, and I mean, that's the name of it, is the major, but the idea is very much like you get to drive your own thing. I'd say I came out as a concept artist, and that was for whatever I could apply it to. So, video games, animation, I was down for all of it. And I didn't really understand a lot of like the difference in animation pipelines where, you know, there's visual development, there's character designs, there's background layout, paint and ink, all that kind of stuff. And I had a loosey goosey idea from some art books that I had seen, but didn't really understand it from the inside. That's what experience gets you. So now I would say if I were to work in animation, I would work in the biz dev department. And then for video games, I don't know if I'd want to touch them with a 10-foot pole after my experiences with them, honestly. But I guess the closest thing would be concept artist or character designer. And then, yeah, there's just the whole wide world of illustration is much more comfy for me. Now, the big difference that I learned, I guess, out of school, I think maybe we talked about it once in class, but I really understood it once I was out of school, was concept artists are part of a pipeline. That means that your work gets handed off to somebody else who creates something else, and it's all for the end product, say a video game. So you're designing a character, you paint something. Somebody else takes that painting and makes it a 3D rendering. That 3D rendering is then rigged, animated, put into a video game. You're the very start of that, and when you see it at the end, it's going to look different than how you maybe intended it, or like, you know, it's not going to be your painting exactly. Now with illustration, when you paint something, that's what you see at the end. You paint it and it's printed in a book. You paint it and it's on the screen in a commercial. You paint it, it's on a billboard. Those are the kind of things that just like the end product is what you see. I didn't realize it then, but I I really love working on the final product. I'm not saying that like I never want to be in a pipeline because I absolutely love that as well. I don't I want to do everything basically. But just as a type of work, if I were to choose one or the other, I would lean more heavily on illustration, just because I like that feeling of kind of control, I guess. But that is also something that everybody should understand in school, I think, a lot earlier than I did. Because just giving, I mean, that's just one way of describing differences between career paths. There are multitudes of ways to discern differences on the way to becoming an artist. Another huge difference between concept art and illustration: concept artists usually work at a studio or along with a team very, very closely. Illustrators are largely freelance. So that's a very big difference in what kind of lifestyle you're living. So just anyways, things like that are just wildly different than I had assumed when I was choosing a career path. I was just like, I want to paint pretty. So, let's see here. Alessandra said, "Yeah, and I didn't pay anything for community school. It saved me a lot of money. That is awesome." I studied visual arts and graphics in community school and had the best Asian graphic design teacher. That is so cool. When you find a great teacher at any school, but especially if you're paying very little comparatively, yes, that's what we want. Yes, yes, yes. Rin says another factor to consider is if you happen to be neurodivergent and have specific needs for accommodations, the school is also very receptive to this, which is great for an educational institution. Absolutely. I love it. Kendall says, I went to school for graphic design, but kept showing up the animation in the animation club as the resident designer. Would have loved if they had told me motion design existed earlier. Yeah. But you found it eventually, right? That's how it goes. Rin says, and you do, Anna, you do paint pretty. Thank you. Oh man. But yeah, that is oh yeah. That is a huge consideration, Rin, when you were talking about being neurodivergent in school. That is something that I mean, I have not known about my own neurodivergence, I guess, for a very long time. I'm only just now kind of realizing that about myself. Mostly thanks to Joe. Thanks, Joe. But also, I feel like that is glossed over a lot when talking about, I mean, lifestyles in general are glossed over a lot when talking about careers, I think. Too much so because it's such a massive part of your day-to-day life. What does your life look like if you have a certain career? What does every single day look like? Are you waking up at 4 a.m.? Are you going to travel out to where you're working? Are you staying at home? Do you wake up at 11? Do you have the ability to have a pet? Do you have the ability to work on things in between projects? Take naps in the middle of the day? So many accommodations would really help a lot of people. And I feel like we should definitely have that conversation as a society. Like, hey, how can we make it just not like we grind until we die capitalism forever and ever and ever? But within the art community, especially, there are so many needs that make art possible. If you are not mentally healthy, you're not going to create your best work. If your employer is demanding your best work on a crazy time crunch, well, too dang bad. You're not going to get it. And that is just a fact of life. And if people work through that and burn themselves out, that's when you get horrible lives and burnout and possibly physical or mental, what do you call it, like hurt. So damage, I should say. That kind of stuff can be avoided and absolutely should. So let's just all take a vow together to never contribute to hustle culture as much as we can. No, 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 I'm gonna slow down. I'm just gonna slow the heck down. Rin says yes, exactly. And Anthony Jackson says agreed. Oh, thank you. Kendall says, I blame Joe also for my self diagnosis, and TikTok did not help. I think TikTok did help. I feel like I'm on psychology TikTok or something because every single day I see somebody who's like, this very specific thing that's going on with me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, me. It's not always fun to realize that, like, you got small issues that, I mean, I shouldn't say small. You've got specific issues that you didn't even realize until somebody else is like, "Oh yeah, this thing." But yeah, I think that that's good. I think. I definitely know it can go too far that, like, I don't want to self-diagnose everything in my life or whatever, but especially with ADHD, I do think that Joe nailed it when she was like, uh, "Oh yeah, have you ever thought about that for you?" I was like, "I had no idea." And then they were like, "Oh yeah, it was maybe you should like look into that and just see what you think." And now I'm just full blown like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely a thing." But I've been reading up on going to other countries and like living in other countries, and a lot of them apparently there's a thing about being diagnosed with certain things, and they don't allow you in. I don't know if ADHD is always on there or neurodivergent things in general, but now I'm kind of like, do I want a diagnosis or do I want to just live my life and help myself as much as possible? Because honestly, I feel like a lot of the ways to cope aren't necessarily like you don't have to go one way or another. You can find your own path, just like art. Alessandra says, haha, OMG, that's a thing. Medical TikTok has a therapist. I'm not sure if I should check that out. It's all just whatever your For You page brings. That's all I know. It's like it seems to know me better than I know myself. Kendall says it's a lot of, I'm in this picture and I do not like it. Lol. I've learned to deal with the feeling of like I do not like it. It's fine. I'm fine if I'm on, if they're identifying things about me, I find it more interesting than scary. I don't know. Is that a thing? Anthony Jackson says, I'm just glad I have a job that allows me to mentor high school students and can tell this kind of things to my kids. That's so lovely. Yes. Being able to pass it, like, what do you call it? Pay it forward in any kind of way is just, it's soul feeding. I'm so glad you get to do that, Anthony. I sometimes daydream about like, okay, so if I had a ton of money, what kind of like foundation would I create, to give back and stuff? And I feel like I think I've talked about this on stream before, but I would love to, for high school students, maybe even middle school, but just some point at which you can really impact people's lives very dramatically at those times. Get in there and use art as a way of helping. Basically, I do think that art helps everyone and that every single type of creation is art, and that's not recognized enough in the broader society. I know that we as artists always talk about it where we're like, yes, it's so good, it's so valuable, ah. But with everybody, like, just imagine any random kid in high school being like, yeah, art could really help you express some of those feelings or just like feel better, just good about your day because you made something. And maybe some of them need to hear that. Kendall says I wouldn't recommend it, and I always go to a verified site online to make sure to a doctor to make sure. Yeah. I absolutely agree. Doctors and verified as much as possible. Basically, you can feel and think basically however you want. However, once you start taking action, that's when you want verified sources. If you are taking any action whatsoever on anything, like, make sure what you're thinking is correct is correct. Rin says, yes, I just found out that I am very likely autistic, and it makes so much sense looking back at my life experiences, and I have a community for it here, with or without the diagnosis. Absolutely. Woohoo! Autistic and ADHD diagnoses, I'm learning, are very close knit. What do you call it? A lot of times they work hand in hand. A lot of people have both. And yes, it's just, brains. It's how they work. It's crazy. Anthony Jackson says there are some really cool art prompts on TikTok. Oh yeah. Rin says, what's that, friends? It's time for a monkey pause. Whoop, 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 whoop. 2 minutes late, but yeah, let's do it. Rin says this is our halftime reminder to sip, stretch, and save if you're working digitally. Let's do it, friends. Okay. Oh yeah. I'm saving. So monkey paws. We haven't done them in a minute. I've done them, well, not on stream, but This is a stretch. If you would like to join along, I will give you a little, what do you call it? Instruction. It's been a while. Okay. Anthony Jackson has a nice meeting to go to. It was nice seeing all of you again. It was lovely seeing you, Anthony Jackson. Have fun at your meeting. Thanks for being here. All right, let's start by putting our arms straight out in front of ourselves, fingers to the sky, palms away, and then we curl our fingers into what we call a monkey paw. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Good job. And then we put our fingers to the ground, palms towards ourselves, curl them in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Good job. And then we flip our hands out, palms away, fingers down, curl them in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. And then finally, we put our palms towards ourselves, fingers to the sky, curl them in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Good job. You can always follow along with the little monkeys on the bottom of the screen if you forget the poses. But I'm just going to repeat these around 10 times, hold for around a second each so I can feel a nice rich stretch in my wrists and tendons. And if you feel sore in any other part of your body, feel free to just relax, stretch it out, focus on whatever you need to take care of yourself today. Because, man, we need to take care of ourselves. We sit too much and we work repetitively with our hands all the time. So let's just take a little moment to say thank you to our hands and take care of them. Also remember to drink water, because my goodness, I need some water. Are you guys feeling perpetually dried out in this winter? Because I am. I am just drinking so much water and still feeling like got chapped lips all day long. Rin says, yep, one of the fingers is oohing and awing. Oh, yeah, my wrists are definitely feeling it. Robin's in the chat. Hi, Robin. How are you? Saying, evening, everyone. Looks like I'm at the right time for the break. Oh, yeah. Monkey pausing it up. Just remember to take care of your hands, Robin. Rin says, thank you, hands. You are loved. Thank you for doing what you do. Kendall says, I always feel parched, but then the cycle of always having to pee annoys me more. I totally feel that. It's so annoying. Alessandra says, oh, this helped my hands. I'm about to work on some designs for a client. Also, how's Anthony, Anna? Anthony is doing quite well. He's just working so much on this project. Like I was saying earlier, it's taken so long for him to go through this project. Ibrahim's in the chat. What's up? Saying, hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you so much for being here. Robin says, I'll give my hands a gentle kiss. Just a little kiss. But yes, that is... Oh, how's Anthony? So yeah, other than that, he's doing well, I think. I mean, I talk to him regularly. He's not dropped off the face of the earth. He's just not here, so he says hi to everyone. And he's like, hi. And I bet you he'd be wearing his like cute yellow rain jacket or something. It would sound all crinkly. He's starting to grow his hair out a little bit. That's exciting. Ooh, ooh. All right, when you're done, shake out your hands just to loosen them back up. And I'm going to do a few extra stretches. I'm going to just roll the shoulders. Take care of those guys. I feel like it's cracking when it's moving. That's really weird. I have taken too long between some good stretches, but I also haven't been drawing as much, so that's nice. All right, and then we're going to do some neck stretches. Ear as high as you can on one side. And then you go to the other side. Flip. Kendall says, this is reminding me I need to exercise. Yes. Exercise is good. Remember to take it easy on your body, especially after long absences from exercise. Take it slow. Ooh. Wait. I see something. Oh no, using the mouse with my left hand is bad. Rin says, I shared one of my projects from 3D design on the Discord. It was something. I just had a critique for it yesterday and I was surprised to have such positive comments. I was so worried. Aww. But it's an example of my experimenting with 3D spaces. That is awesome. I will definitely check that out. Now look as far as is comfortable to each side. And then to the other side. And back again. And back again. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's get back into it. I hope you're all cozy, having a great day. Robin says, I just woke up from a nap after running 6 miles. I'm in a weird physical state. You're just like, run, sleep. That's so funny. I'm glad that you got your run in and also that you got your rest in. Brittany says, me over here trying to keep drawing while doing the stretch. Trying your best. All right, we're back at it again. Freshly saved. I don't like this guy. I just decided nah to him. That's fine. All right, more free loosey-goosey mark making. Let's do this. Let's go in with some orange. Upward momentum. Upward and onward. So we've been watching our nieces every week, and I feel like having them around has definitely made me more cognizant of like making children's books for children. Making it what they really want and what they need, but not necessarily what they know they need. Read some books lately of other authors that felt a little bit too kind of preachy. So I'm trying to kind of reconcile that in my mind, because a lot of times that I think of an idea for a book, I think, oh, this is really important and this needs to be said and this is like something I wish I had heard, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it's just too much, I feel like. Too much for a little kid to just be like, oh yeah, you're telling me one more thing I need to hear, as if they don't get that constantly from everyone. So I'm trying to, you know, constantly thinking about writing and what kind of books I want to put out into the world. It's always really frustrating when you come up with an idea and are like, oh man, that's so good, that's so clear. And then you go to write it down and it's like 95% garbage. It's like, what did I miss? Between the time I was just like so certain about it and now it lost so much of its everything. It's so frustrating. But you know, that's just creative life. Losing things and finding them again. Whew. Robin says, but you wrote it down. That's huge. I so agree. I think that writing it down is half the problem. Oh, man. But yeah, that trying to write things right now is it's always at the forefront of my mind. I really want to get into writing books. Really, really, really. And I feel like I'm getting closer, but maybe taking like a writing class or something like that will be my next move. Although I actually have a goal for myself in the new year, which is taking a ceramics class. I absolutely want to do that. I have to figure out how to make that like happen, especially in a way that I'm comfortable with, because man, I'm not comfortable with a lot. I've been so hermity, but I love it. I want to be a hermit, but I also don't. Let's say there's a little bit more light green coming up from here. I want some like glow bleed. Do you know what I mean? Like it comes and wraps around certain objects. When the sunlight is really strong, it just bleeds over the edge. Maybe that's too much. I don't want it to be random marks. I want them to be chosen. The chosen few. Intentional. Not the worst, not the best. Alex in the chat. I just spoke about wanting to write children's books, and of course, Alex shows up and says, "Hi, friends. I hope everyone is well. Hello and welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here. How are you, friend?" Oh, yeah. So I was just talking about writing books and how I want to maybe take a writing class. I think that would be a good step in our journey of becoming children's books writer. Children's books writers. I am good at talking, and so I am good at writing, right? But yeah, here's the piece that we've been working on, just as like a little filler in. I have a figure here that I might have painting the scene as like a little self-portrait kind of thing. And I wonder what would be on that easel. What kind of vantage point of this scene would she be getting? But right now I'm just having fun painting plants because I need a chill way to get back into working and streaming and all that stuff. I'm slowly coming back to life. It's taking longer than I would like, but I am trying. Everyone says, yes, Anna, I look forward to seeing what you write. Oh gosh, so do I. Hopefully it's okay. Okay, whenever I think about it, I'm like, don't put so much pressure on your first project that you make it never happen, basically. So I look forward to like my fourth or fifth book. Hopefully that will be like really good. Brittany says, I saw a book that was a bunch of dinosaurs throwing tantrums. I thought that was funny. A funny way to show kids that tantrums maybe aren't the best way for people to act, but also dinosaurs look cool. That is so cute. I love that. Alex says, I've been having a rough time with moving, but I'm starting to feel a little bit better this week. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Yeah, it's hard, especially when the weather changes. I find it really difficult to motivate myself to do almost anything. Clients always motivate me because I have a need to please. So I'm working on a project right now that's actually pretty intense, but right now I'm at the moment where I'm waiting for feedback. So I get these like intense work times and then suddenly freedom. So anyways, I'm trying to deal with that and mentally shift back and forth with grace and ease. How am I doing? Ibrahim is asking, did you enjoy your break though? Yes, I talked about it earlier and I absolutely did. I want it to be longer. However, every amount of break that I can get is definitely worth it. I am having such a problem with communication though lately. I have like really dropped the ball on replying to people. Most of the time this doesn't apply to like clients. It's mostly like people reach out on social media, people reach out through email, and I just have such a hard time replying to everyone. And I mean, sometimes it's also just like text between friends and family that I'm just like, I don't know why I haven't replied. Like I have the reply ready in my head. I just can't make myself write it out. And I'm betting that it's part of ADHD and some kind of neuro whatever. It's bull poop. I hate it. I really don't like just feeling like I'm disappointing everyone. So anyways, that's one of those things that I'm dealing with. Have any of you ever had that problem? Because I am very curious if there's any solutions that you guys have. Feel free to throw them out. If you've never had something like that, don't even worry. But yeah, it's just, what am I doing? I'm not making shapes I like. It's just something that I'm dealing with right now and trying to find my way through, which is why I'm trying to give myself some grace and being like, okay, you don't have to worry about this right now. You'll just worry about it soon. And we will take care of this, and we will get to the point where you can easily reply to everyone immediately when they send you a message, and it's going to be no problem. How do I get there? How do I get there? Alex says, yeah, the weather is rough. I know. When it was sunny the other day, James and I were like, we have to go on a walk right now. Take advantage. And it's like still freezing, but it was sunny. So yay. Martha says, had 8 dogs over here on the holidays and worked. Busy, trying to get back to personal work. You're inspiring me. Oh, yay. Yeah, just paint a nice lush foliage scene. Just do that. That is awesome, Martha. And hi, by the way. How are you? 8 dogs. 8 dogs. Oh, what a dream. Alessandra says, yes, my partner who has ADHD has the same problem sometimes, Anna. Oh my gosh. Any solutions? I don't know if there are any, so I hesitate to ask. Rin says, I had to step away a moment and miss the question. Ibrahim was asking if I had enjoyed my break, and I went on so many tangents I can't even catch you up. Alex says, I was having a conversation with a friend about this today. It was so long and so good. The best thing I've figured out so far is that voice memos are good. Just ramble. Voice memos. I've never used voice memos, so I'll have to look into that. Thank you, Alex. Brittany says, I keep forgetting to reply too. I get anxious and I think I'll think of a better response later. I should just reply. James is so good about this. The second he gets a text, he's like, oh, I got a text, so I am replying to that text. And I'm like, how? I think everyone in my life just expects me to like wait a few days every single time. And I feel horrible about it, but it's just hard because it's like, I feel like it might be part anxiety, but also just if it's a part of your brain, like so many things are a part of the brain with ADHD, and trying to find workarounds that work for each individual is like trying to solve a puzzle that you can't see. And it feels a little overwhelming in the meantime to have all the pieces stack up. Rin says, it's true, the sun is needed. I love the rainy weather, but it's not the best to go for walks in. Yeah, have you learned that you need some rain boots, Rin? Robin says, first, strip the expectation you have on yourself that you should always be able to immediately be available and have to respond to everything. Thanks for that, Robin. I'm trying. It's just really frustrating when it seems like everybody else has that expectation. And I know they don't. I know that not everybody is like, oh, you're rude. But I also feel like somebody is. Somebody thinks I'm very rude. And I'm not trying to be. I'm just bad. No, I'm not bad. I have to treat it like if somebody else, if one of my friends had this problem, would I say that they were bad? Would I say that they're like irresponsible or lazy or any of those horrible words? No, I would never put that on somebody else. I would just say, like, you're different. Your brain works different, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. So I should say that to myself. Kendall says, okay, kind of back via iPad life and crocheting since they're cooking. Them, the family, and there's not enough room in our kitchen. Would you be crocheting in the kitchen if there was room? Alex says, I've also communicated with the ADHD people in my life that I can bump them as much as I want, but I find it trickier for the building friendship stage. I don't want to pester. I so agree. That's the thing. I have to say, if you guys need a response from me or anybody seeing this into the future, hi Replaylanders, just feel free to pester. It's so much better than me feeling like I'm slowly deteriorating our relationship by not responding. I would much rather actually be pestered. I'm definitely one of those people, though, that like I value communication above all else. So as long as you communicate with me, even if it's like I absolutely hate you and you're the worst, then I would be happier with that than you just keeping that inside. Rin says, "Truth, Robin. If I had a friend that I'm worried expects an immediate response, I let them know I cannot respond at that moment and that I will try to respond when I have the time. Though I know that can be more difficult with so many things happening at once." See, that's the thing, is like any response would be better, right? But even just having the response, I cannot respond at the moment. I will be back later. How do you respond that when you can't respond to anything? Sometimes literally all I have to send is like a thumbs up or like a got it. And it still doesn't happen. Robin says, absolutely, be your own best friend. Oh, I love that. Rin says, it's easy to forget and not get back to people if there's some other pressing matter in the here and now, which I think that's the thing with ADHD as well, is like always feeling like, well, it's part of like time blindness, isn't it? That everything's urgent and nothing's urgent. Kendall says, I have anxiety, so it balances out my ADHD symptoms, which is both good and bad. You know, I've got it all. I've got the smorgasbord. Thank you guys for talking to me about this. Sorry to unload my, mental stuff on you, but I also really want people to understand, at least for me. I know every single person is different, but at least for me, communication is always valued above feeling things that are not communicated. Does that make any sense? If you hate me, tell it to my face. That's a very nice way of saying things, Anna. But anyways, I really hope that you guys are doing well with your communication, because I can tell you on this side, I wish it could change. Robin says, being constantly available is a major issue these days. Speaking of which, I think my phone is going off. Spam risk. Oh my gosh. Who is this? Spam risk? Wow. Let's see. Robin says, set up those boundaries. They're super healthy. You truly don't have to respond to every message to be considered a good communicator. Take it in, Anna. Take it in. Understand it. Because, like, I agree with that. I don't put those expectations on other people, so why do I expect it of myself? If you give your attention away every time somebody else wants it, how are you going to have time to focus on yourself? Well, I don't know. There's just, 25 hours in the day, right? And one of them's for me. Rin says to Anna's face, we love you and wish the world for you. Oh, that's really sweet. You guys are not the problem. Anti the problem right there. But thank you. Thank you very much. What kind of struggles are you working through? Can I help you? Is there any way I can give back to this awesome community that is so loving and so caring? Okay. I really need to think of like a shape in my head to work this out. I really like this section where there's like the little fuzzies. Having like a fuzzy color come out from underneath. Let's do another orange buzz down here. And we could have that kind of overlap into this guy. Yes, good. I would like to see the baby. Okay, and then we bring in this like slightly brighter orange. What? Da 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 da. Just painted a moon with these little globules coming off of it in like a shiny way, like a glow effect. It was so satisfying. I love a good glow effect. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. Should we do a different color somewhere? Yeah. What if we did like some blues, like around there? Oh, yeah. I like that. I don't want it to be too intense though, so I might just like just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. RESPECT. Find it out. Let's see. Alessandra says, Anna, I've told you this many times and I will say it again. It's okay to take your time on things. As a mental health therapist, I am here if you have any questions or you need clarification. Thank you so much, Alessandra. That's really nice. I should take advantage of that. But once again, my problem is communicating. Kendall says, been trying to find more ways to body double without a person in real life these days. Streams are good, but I also get distracted by chat. Lol. Hey, Kendall, stop talking to us. You're crocheting right now. Ibrahim says, it's a relief in a way to know that I'm not alone in my own struggles. So thank you again for sharing that. Sending good vibes. Oh, I'm really glad. Absolutely. It's, yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like everybody should share what they're going through as far as they're comfortable with, obviously. I'm an open book with you guys, so I definitely am happy to share, especially, I mean, mostly I hope to help somebody else. But I also, sometimes that person that's helped is me. So thank you all for being here and putting up with me. And I know that you are just lovely people who are overly happy to help and all that stuff. So I know that I'm not burdening you, that you choose to be here and all that stuff. So I don't mean to make it sound like you have to, you know, say that kind of stuff like, oh yeah, it's okay, you're okay. Rin says, Anna, truly you do enough for us and you are enough. Oh. Okay, you're being too sweet. And I'm not putting myself aside at all. Don't worry about it. I'm doing very well. I want to put into context, like, the communication issues I have are a burden. However, I am doing great. Like, overall, life is good, I have to say. So it's like, you know, that like little tiny part where it's like, oh, this could be improved. That's what I'm talking about. It's not necessarily like my life is falling apart at the seams. Like, life is good, and I'm very, very, very grateful for that. And I have to say a huge thank you to James. I know I do this all the time, but huge thank you to James. Having a partner who understands and feels like, I don't know, he makes me feel like he's always here for me. It's just like having you guys, but like literally here every day. Having that kind of support is unmatched. So if you're having any problems and you feel like they're overwhelming, I'm so sorry, but also I hope that you find a person that can help, because it doesn't matter like what relationship you have with them, as long as they're there. It's so important to have some kind of outside support. Kendall says, they're stunt doubling my ability to focus at one project instead of 30 at once. I love that. Yeah, I've heard body doubling is very, very effective for a lot of people. Not everyone, but yeah. Rin says, I'm on a similar page where I feel the need to respond to everyone as quickly as possible, and I'm hyper attentive to others' needs and want everyone to feel loved and appreciated. But trying to do this for everyone is spreading oneself too thin. Absolutely. I agree. Joe is in the chat. Joe, you hath been spoken of in this chat already. So hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. Robin says, Anna, you're gosh darn delight. And I'm happy to see your work and talk to everyone here. Aw, guys, this is such a lovely welcome back stream. Ooh. Alex says, shout out to James. Yes, thank you. Dark Hour says, Anna, you are wonderful. You just, oh, James is wonderful. Everybody's just hopping on. Yes. The whole chat is wonderful. Oh, you guys are so nice. Ibrahim says, thank you, James. Jessica T says, James, shout out. I love it. Ibrahim says, now I want to have a partner too. Oh, it's good. I have to say, partners are good as long as they're good people, and there are great people out there. So you just got to find yours. Dark Hours says, I got a sneak in the background, about to host Adobe Live APAC. Woo! That is awesome. We are drawing St. Nicholas. Oh my gosh. Ryan's in the chat. Oh my gosh, everybody's here. Hello, friends. Welcome, welcome. Hi everybody. I know I haven't been here in a while. You guys are being so nice. Ryan says I came up with a super simple and funny way for you to be a part of the special. Blew up your DMs on Discord. Oh, I can't wait. Be sure to check after stream. Thank you, Ryan. It's so nice to see you again. It's good to see you too. Hey, everybody, check in the description. It says to tune into Ryan Selvey's holiday special next week on December 14th. Oh, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Definitely check it out. And if you haven't seen the previous specials that Ryan's put on, you absolutely should look at the whole, what do you call it, library of them at this point. They are so special. Ryan Selvey is a gem. You should see everything he's done because it's amazing. Brittany says, Care Bear stare. It's too intense. I'm gonna catch on fire. Alessandra says to Ryan, can't wait for your Christmas stream. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so exciting. I can't wait to watch. Dark Hour is also saying APAC stream kicking off in a half hour. Here's the link if any of you want to pop by. Absolutely. Everybody should definitely check out the APAC stream. That's right when I'm ending. So everybody should just pop on over there and see Drawing with Bill Hope, it says. Haha. Kendall says, yes, come on by to the I was going to say Halloween special. The holiday special. Jessica T says, glad the stream is back. Hope you had a good break. I did. You know what I'm noticing is my voice is already like dead. Y'all got me talking. You know I jabber, walkie. Sorry if this is anybody's first time in the chat, because I am talking more than I am drawing. And that's how it goes sometimes. It's just the reality of life and art. But that's okay. I'm just gonna do like a few... do I want curly cues in this? Maybe. I'll try them out. Whoa, that one's wild. Wild out! Is anybody else watching Critical Role lately? They are doing a Campaign 2 special, and it's very exciting. I don't know if anybody else is into D&D stuff, but I am. Ryan says, thanks to Kendall. Kendall, of course, doing 1,000,000 things per usual. Indeed. Crocheting while doing everything else. Ryan says, I like the background you've drawn so far. Verdict is still out whether it's scary or not. The stream. Who knows? Yeah, so Ryan, this is the general idea is like an artist out here painting. So we're going to have them tucked behind this bush. Maybe I could rough in some colors for this, see if we've got any vibes going on. I feel like since I'm wearing red, maybe they should be wearing red. This is clearly a self-portrait. Gonna make it kind of burnt brick red so that it's kind of informed by the surroundings. A little bit on the greener side. We could even douse it in some, just a little bit. No, this isn't a good brush for that. Need something a little see-through. Some graphite. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, like that. Okay. And then... Is it really just gonna be me? I don't know. Maybe it is. This is something. Making her pop off the background value-wise. I wanted that dark background on the right side, so I'm thinking... You know, actually, I should show you. My first concept for this piece was having, like, a spirit move through it. Whoosh. But I decided I wanted something a little bit more literal with this one. I don't know, it just felt right. We can still mess with the size of everything as well, because sometimes making subjects smaller, especially in a foliage-filled piece like this, can make everything feel so much more vast. Like, oh my gosh, that is a big old forest. Let's see. Yeah, I think over here. Don't worry about how she's colliding with the bush and everything. We can fix that. Let's see. Ryan says, oh wait, Alex is on the Dimension 20 train. I haven't gotten into that yet, and I need to, because clearly is good stuff. Ryan says, a haunted artist, self-portrait of you in the wilderness. Yeah, that's right. I'm fighting off bears. Aaron just called me to dinner. Be back soon. Can't wait to see where this thing goes. Have fun, and also say hi to Aaron. Rin says, then there were two because student account. Oh my gosh, Rin's new account. Ah! Robin says, that's complimentary, my dear. Exactly. Complimentary, my dear Watson. But you know how red can skew more towards the orangish side or the purpler side? I find that the oranger side feels more akin to green, at least with what warm greens. I guess it's just the warmer side. That's what I meant. Brittany says, whoa, cool ghost lady. Love the ghost girl, Jessica T says. I'm probably just going to make two versions of this. Just make one with ghost girl, one with self-portrait. Alessandra says, eating some French butter chocolate cookies and drawing on this rainy day. Well, how fancy of you. Sounds delightful. Absolutely delightful. I had delicious pastries for lunch as well. We had a coconut tart, a fruit ham pie, which turned out to be apple, and a cherry chocolate rocher. What was it? It was called something with an R in a different language, and I can't remember exactly what. But anyways, they were all delicious, and I love them. Brittany says, just shift the hues, and bam, you got another painting. Lol. Exactly. Paint it once, paint it twice. Twice is nice. That's all you need. Honestly, reuse paintings as much as you want or need. I agree with that. I could go for that. Wondering if... Blonde lady. But like really blonde. I'll have to figure this out later. I'm not feeling it right now. What I feel like is... Here, we can have our spirit in here because you guys liked her. Something long. Long and frondy. That's what I want. Long and frondy. This is the wrong brush. Yes. I'm going to go for a bigger, pencil brush. Not necessarily frondy, but like something kind of like this. And then back here, maybe some similar up lines. And then let's do some bips and bops back here too. Doop, 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 doop. We've got a lovely little burst of red back here. What if we put... I don't want this whole bush to be the same. I'm thinking maybe we put like this color over here. It's funny, but now that we have like this more regular rounded shape right here, it feels almost like English garden-y, like a little less wild and more shaped. I wonder, do I like that or do I hate it? It's got to be a strong feeling one way or the other. Clearly. What if it's just covered in azalea-like flowers? More flower than bush, some might say. Alessandra says, I know, I already said it, but this looks amazing. That's really nice. Ren says, oh my goodness, Anna, the shape, the form, the hair tendrils. Chef's kiss. Brittany says, oh yeah, you got another painting. We could just make multiple. Nowfall says, oh, wow, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying. But it's definitely, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. It might be dramatically different in the end. Who knows? What we're doing is having fun. That's the point. Never lose sight. It's always just fun. Yeah, little bits. Little bits. I feel like we need some warm down here as well. I'm thinking maybe like a little bit redder, a little bit darker down here. No, I don't know how to. Whoop. Sure, kind of like that. I'm glad you guys are liking this one. I feel like there's potential here. I've also been working on several pieces. I'm going to be posting to Patreon very soon, the latest one that I'm very excited about. One of them is going to be a postcard for this next month, and it's just very cute. It's very like, I don't know, a holiday theme, but like kind of muted. Like not holiday in your face, here's holly and here's like a Christmas wreath. It's a little bunny that's up in the left-hand corner sleeping on a pillow, and then it's covered by this big quilt, and the whole artwork is basically taken up by the pattern on the quilt, and it's this big textile picture basically with like a bunch of patterning and framing and cool stuff. And I kind of took into consideration some of the things I've been seeing with crocheting, like Kendall can probably attest to. There's so much beautiful inspiration in the crocheting world, and I just want to draw it sometimes. Like, I would love to crochet it, but I also just want to draw it. Gotta draw it. Okay, I like this burst over here. Bursting. If this is English garden, like top of the bush and then suddenly underneath, then maybe what we do is show some of the branches coming up with some like darker in between. Something like that. Just a reminder that next week I'm not going to be streaming because we're going to be doing the holiday special over on Ryan's channel, and I just want to fully enjoy that and see you guys in the chat. So definitely hang out over there, and I hope to see you because it's going to be a great time as usual. Okay, that's kind of fun. I like seeing the branches. I think that's kind of what we're missing in some of these guys, is not feeling like they're grounded to something. What if I just like zoop? What if there was, let's bring back that blue. What if there were like little flowers on this guy? Well, that's not what I was thinking. What if they were like By the way, the olives, my olive trees on the balcony produced 1 olive each. It's amazing. Wait. Kendall says there are way too many sweater vests to pick from, and I saw how to make a leaf crochet thing earlier, and I want to try it. You should do that. I also, okay, so one thing that I found that was really fun, especially with Corinne's hat, I made Corinne a hat. I crocheted a hat and then I embroidered with the yarn on top of it. So that was a lot of fun. Not saying you have to, you know, try something like that, but it was real fun. There are so many ways to crochet patterns into whatever you're making. However, sometimes it's a lot of work. So if you want to just, you know, have another way of getting that kind of thing across, then try embroidering. It's fun. And it doesn't take as much work if it's thicker yarn. Alessandra says, Anna, do you know what time Ryan's stream is next week? I believe that Kendall said it was 7 p.m., right? That was what you're saying? I'm sure Ryan has all this information on his socials. I never pay attention because I'm just looking at all the fun stuff he posts. He's got great videos, by the way, on his socials, things that are promoting this, so go check them out. Alessandra says, I was cleaning and found my ugly old sweater. That's amazing. Kendall says, they deserve an olive martini drink for making fruit. Oh, okay. You're saying for the olive trees. I've never had a martini, I don't think. What we were doing is we're trying water curing, which is trying to get the bitterness out of the olives and then trying to get some like salty brininess into them. So we're past the water stage and we're into the brining stage. So we'll see how it turns out. Fingers crossed. It's going to be good. Jessica says, I recently got into crocheting. I have a hard time understanding written instructions, so I watch tutorials on YouTube. Where do you look for tutorials? Literally any video. Yeah, I totally agree. I am not a written person. I am a video person. All I've really done is winged it. I think the one tutorial I followed was called Patchwork Cardigan on YouTube. If you just look on YouTube and look for Patchwork Cardigan, it's the first one that's up there. It's like these pastel colors, very loose, cute cardigan. And with that, it was literally making squares of half double crochet and then joining a bunch of it together. So it was very, very simple, straightforward. And then there are things where it's like, oh yeah, here's an idea of how to do this. What do you call it? Like stitch, I think they're called, like a different kind of stitch. There's half double, there's single crochet, stuff like that. Every once in a while I'll see one that looks really cool and I'll just be like, oh, what's that called? And I'll try to remember the name and then Google it. And usually there's a very clear way to do it on if you just Google it. So that's basically how I do it. But I am no expert. I'm very loosey-goosey with it. Kendall says, also, I think you already sent the physical goodies for the special, but you can also get a digital one, but I don't know if that's up yet. Definitely check around because there are goodies that Ryan is providing with this one. So definitely very cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. One thing I wanted to do is like a bobble kind of, not necessarily flower, but maybe that's this red over here. Maybe we do kind of like a bobbly shape. I don't know how to describe that better. If we do dark branches that come out and like hang it like that, to me that's bobbly. Bob, bob, bob. I think of like fuchsias, you know? They have that little like skirt at the bottom. Sometimes. Fuchsias are many, many different shapes, so not necessarily, but I just want the idea of that. I'll work on it. I kind of want to go in here and just do a little bit of finagling to make these guys little winged creatures. Just because I think it will sell the idea of this whole thing. Just little dots too. I don't know, with that how sharp her highlights are, I'm kind of tempted to just be like, is that way too intense? Maybe too small. I don't know. Kind of like it, I kind of hate it. What is life? Beep, bop, boop, beep. I don't like that line. Maybe just having them represented with little dots. I think that works better. Don't want it to look like they're flies like buzzing around her, like ew. I want it to be more like butterflies. I think that requires a little back wing. Or moths. I'd like moths because I feel like moths are a little spirit worldy, you know what I mean? Like they got something going on. They know something. Oh, James and I found a YouTube channel that was it's all about like getting really detailed up close video of insects, and it is so fascinating. So they'll get like stuff like how different kinds of bugs lift off when they start flying, and it's just hilarious looking. Some of them are so bumbling, it's kind of crazy. Like you think, oh, this thing just like lifts off and flies, but once it's in slow motion and hyper detailed, it's actually that they like kick off with their back feet and their front feet are like in the air like wee, and then they actually like flop over backwards before they finally catch air, and then they're like woo. It's amazing. Kendall says also I think he sent a physical. Oh yeah. Jessica says ooh, patchwork designs, those look cool. Yeah, I really like how it came out. Kendall says note, you do not have to buy anything to still enjoy the special. I was thinking fireflies would be cool too. Fireflies in this piece, absolutely. Robin says oh, I love those videos. Yeah, they're very cool. Fireflies, I wonder how they would like differ. I think they're kind of like big butts, small wings, right? That's how I remember them. Robin says the bug tier video is also fun. I don't know about that one. Is it ranking bugs? Yeah, you're a good bug. You're a less good bug. It's so silly. We've got about 8 minutes left. Oh, thank you, Anthony, saying this looks so beautiful. Just a reminder to definitely check out the APAC stream right after we log off, because we're going to have the lovely Joe and also probably Flynn, I'm guessing, involved in APAC, which is just awesome. They put on great videos for Adobe Live, so definitely worth checking out. I'm sure you guys are all familiar. It ain't familiar. What if we put some red in there? I think that would be delightful. A little bigger? Do I like that? Came out kind of pinkish, so maybe a little bit more. Might be it. Whoa. Alright, darker. There we go. Nope, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Take it away. Okay. Take it away now. Alright, so a lot of what we did today. Look at that. Whoa, we actually did some stuff. That's pretty cool. I think this needs to be darker for it to recede a little bit more. What if these actually were light? Instead of having the dark stems, we could have lighter stems. I think that would be more fun. Personally, that's so small. Oh my goodness. We could get some nice thick to thin going. Actually, I think instead of green, maybe it should be more of a brown. Whoops, went too far. There we go. Let's do this kind of orange plus green that we got going on, so it becomes kind of like a putrid brown. Perfect for my stems. Putrefaction. Oh yeah, by the way, we've been watching some Wednesday. Have you all been on the Wednesday train of things? We are not done yet. I think actually tonight we might be watching the last episode, which is kind of sad because I've been really enjoying it. But also we just got access to Hulu, so we're finally catching up on My Hero Academia, which has been quite a while since we watched that. I think we're on season 5 right now. My hero. Bobbles. You know? Bobbles. Ren says, I have watched some Wednesday. I think I'm on episode 6. Jessica T says, I've been watching it. Oh yeah, we're all on a crew. I love it. Alex says, I was about to say that I had to go, but I was so good to see you, Anna. Let's talk soon whenever you want. Absolutely, Alex. Sorry, I tell you all about the like communication issues, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely talk to you. But seriously, I do want to talk to you, and I think that we could be a great team. We could work on writing stuff. The whole thing. But thank you for being so patient and lovely, and I'll talk to you soon. Kendall says, shh, I haven't started it yet. No spoilers. No spoilers ever, okay? That's our promise. Ren says, hey, Kendall. Whispers false spoilers. So at the end, the dog did it. But yeah, the whole show is very fun and kind of silly. So I feel like it's got, I don't know, vibes that a lot of people will enjoy. it had a lot to live up to. I feel like there's special pressure on the character of Wednesday being done right. So, especially following her into being a little bit older than her previous predecessors was probably quite the pressure. But I think all of the actors that they got for this were quite good. So I'm glad. Let's see here. Any last touches that I can add before we say au revoir? What if I put little... No topper. Jessica T says, so cool that Christina Ricci is in it, which is not a spoiler. She also played Wednesday in the movie version. Exactly. Alex says, we will be a great team. I have an idea that may help. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, Alex. Rin says, I love that Ricci is in it. Cameo appearances are great, but an actual role in the show? Love that. I agree. No, I was very excited to see her, and also just imagine the feeling of being one of those actors who got to bring Wednesday to life and then be like continued being like, oh yeah, I'm still here, I'm still around. Oh, so cool. I don't like this area. I feel like that's getting muddly. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Got a certain sudden hiccup burp. Hiccup. Okay, let's jump in here with a rate grit brush. Just kind of work out some of these shapes. I think I have to turn this off. I don't want as much of this orange. I just want it to kind of kiss the edge. But also to be a definitive shape. Ooh, you know, this is kind of a weeping willow in my mind. Like this whole shape is kind of weeping willow-ish. So what I'm thinking is we need a great like whoosh kind of shape. That you guys didn't see that. It's like whoosh. A nice up and over. Okay, so we've got the edge. Kind of like that, but a little bit more controlled. You can come in here with the dark to kind of define that outside edge. And then we can have a similar shape, but like slightly unique. We could do it like that, just to give it its own kind of feel. And then have that hot edge. Yeah, it feels much more designed than before, which is good. Yeah, I like the idea of just the bottom of this one catching a little bit of that orange. Just an ickle bit. I feel like maybe this color, but a little bit brighter, could be good for the inside here. Almost like the, I don't know, that's a little too intense. I want to get the feeling of like translucent leaves a little bit. Like you're getting a little bit of color through the leaves, but not all of them. If we see it from this distance, does it feel like color's coming through? A little bit. Yeah, not bad. I think that's good. Or at least better than it was. Let's see what it was. Whoa. Whoa. I think there's something about the sky that makes me feel a little sickly. I think those colors aren't it. Yeah, that hot yellow is good. And I think for the orange, it needs to be less red. I think it needs to be more towards this and a little bit darker. Personally. Yeah, much better. Now it's not so like candy corn. No, maybe like one more big area. I'm trying to look at the areas as in this is one area, this is one area, this is one area. I don't want to make them all too uniform or too broken up. So I'm trying to make like this is going to be the big main area of light. And then we're going to have a small, a medium, and then just like little bits over here. Sound good? Sound good. Don't need this to be dark against there. It could just be all the way to the tree. Then it feels a little bit like it earned that hot light on the edge of it. You gotta earn your light, don't you know? But then the highest point of contrast is definitely right here. I think that's distracting a little bit. Yeah, it's too much. I want less. Give me less. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Brittany says, I've just been watching the anime Natsume's book for friends, or of friends, because it was always on my recommendations. It's so sweet. I wish I saw it earlier. Rin says, you gotta earn your hot light. You know? Gotta earn your hot light. I love finding a good anime, Brittany. I feel like there's something so special when you find a really good story, especially one that fits the vibes you're looking for. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I need to wrap it up so that we can all go hang out in the APAC stream, go support some Joe. And I think we're at a pretty good stopping point today. I've been loving painting plants with y'all. It's so much fun to just get in here and push shapes around, create glow, put little dots in places. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So much fun. So I will not see you guys next week. I'm so sad about that. However, I will kind of see you in the Ryan Selvey holiday stream, which is going to be next Wednesday, I believe at 7 p.m. Don't quote me on that. I need to find the official time to make sure, like, which time period it's in. Time period? Time zone. That's what they're called. But anyways, until next time, remember to treat yourself with kindness and be your own best friend. That's what we learned here today. Thank you so much for listening to all of my chitter chatter and all that jazz. Anthony Jackson says Mr. Selvey is fantastic, which is fact. Everybody should know that by now. And Jessica T says it was good seeing you again. Love the lush landscape you've created. See you soon, everyone. Ibrahim says, see you all soon. I'm just cracking my chair. Sorry, that's the sound. Brittany says, thanks for the stream. You are very welcome. Thank you so much for being here. It was so lovely to talk to you guys again. I will see you someday. Who knows when, but I will always talk about it on the Discord, and I will try to get back to any messages you guys send me. So sorry about any slowness. Ren says, anytime, Anna, it was great having you, hanging out here again with everyone. Thank you for having quality chats with us all. Minus typos. Minus mouth typos. Yeah, I agree. All right, have a good one. Stay safe and happy holidays, everybody. Bye. Yeah, I have to find the thing. Okay, bye. After party. Ryan missed it. Oh no. Hey Ryan, what exact time is the stream next week? I keep on thinking I'm talking about the wrong time zone. I remember 7, but which time zone is that? Is that EST? Probably, I'm guessing. 7 p.m.? Ryan says I'm gonna watch the replay. You're so cute. Okay, yes, it is 7 p.m. ET. So that means on the West Coast. So on the East Coast. On the East Coast, it's 7. So for the West Coast, it's going to be at 4. I'm very excited for that. Says Rin. Thank you so much for being here, Ryan. I'll see you next week. Well, I'll talk to you before then on the Discords. And Jessica says, hee IRL Q&A. Thank goodness we have Ryan here for the live chat. Ryan says, I'm so happy you're back streaming. I'm so happy too. I'm not going to be streaming next week because I'm taking your stream off. I got to be in the chat for yours. You kidding me? And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Have a good day. Love you guys. Bye.